Good morning. I'm Ron Barth, President and CEO of PANPHA, and welcome to our second video blog with some of the leaders, especially legislators here in Pennsylvania. Today we're with Representative Pam DeLissio, who is the newly elected representative from the 194th District, which covers Philadelphia and some of Montgomery County. I know her from way back. She has been the CEO, Executive Director of a longtime PANPHA member. She was on the PANPHA board, and actually she was on the search committee that hired me, so she's sort of responsible for me being here. Pam, thank you very much for having us. Pam, what inspired you to seek election as a member of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives?
Ron, I've been following politics and public policy probably for 25 or 30 years. As you know, in addition to serving on PANPHA's board, I served on the Public Policy Committee, and if memory serves, I think I may have chaired it at one time. So I've particularly followed state and local politics, local meaning out of the city of Philadelphia, as well as Lower Merion over the years. So a couple of years ago, when State Representative Mandarino indicated she was looking for a career change, she actually called about 5 women, all of whom she thought were appropriately experienced and credentialed to run for the job. And she is very familiar with the fact that women need to be asked to run, and our legislature has very, very few women in it, comparatively speaking, and in absolute numbers. And it's important that our governing body be as diverse as the folks we govern. So this was a great opportunity to use my 30-year career in a very new venue, and it's been a great experience for the last 9 weeks.
Well, following up a little bit on that, you've been a former administrator and a CEO of a not-for-profit nursing facility and a housing provider, and you've owned and operated your own businesses. How do you feel your background is going to be an asset to you as a legislator? Well,
one of my own criticisms of the state legislature or concerns has been over the years is that some of the legislature has been here for many, many years, decades, in fact. And my concern has been that they are so removed from the day-to-day, real world, real lives that we all live, that good policy and good legislation, it could be made better if the folks in the legislature had more real-world experience. So I have already found very much that my own experience has already served well in terms of participating in committee discussions on the floor of the House, using a variety of examples from my personal life. So I think this experience is going to serve not only my constituents of the 194th well, but all the citizens of the Commonwealth.
You know, everyone knows that Pennsylvania, like almost all other states, is struggling with its budget. With the lapsing of the federal stimulus dollars, with those going away, the 2011-2012 fiscal year budget may be facing upwards of a $4 billion shortfall. Where do you see this budget going?
Well, I think almost everybody who's come to meet with me so far has the same very high level of concern about the budget and where the needs of their particular constituencies are going to rank in terms of budget priorities. And the bottom line is the budget address is coming up March 8th. We will all be paying very close attention to the governor. We don't know where some of those budget cuts are going to happen, or I would like to see additional types of revenue raised. I think there are lots of opportunities to be creative in terms of both efficiency of government as well as raising revenue. So you're right, the focus has been on cuts and concern about cuts, and we're not thinking about where revenues are available for us to raise in a way that's extremely responsible and makes sense and doesn't even necessarily involve raising taxes per se. So my own focus has been in protecting those constituencies who could be further harmed by budget cuts, as they've had experienced cuts over the past couple of years, but to really push and advocate for some revenue enhancements that are literally there for the taking. And one in particular is the 1% discount on the sales tax. Vendors or companies get a discount. We don't get discounts for any other taxes companies withhold. Eradicating that 1% would raise $75 million on an annualized basis just like that. So as long as those opportunities exist, you know, cuts may have to be a part of the discussion, but so should revenue enhancement.
Well, that's interesting, and I appreciate your candor about the need for revenue enhancements, but it certainly appears that there's very little legislative support, and of course the governor has been adamant about no tax increases, no fee increases. So it seems to at least us that we're going to be facing some serious budget cuts as well. Perhaps there may be some way of getting some revenue enhancers, but nonetheless, it appears that the vast majority will come from budget cuts. And Medicaid, of course, is one of those large line items that's always a target. And as you know from your background in senior services, Medicaid, especially for nursing homes, is an essential part of the equation of how you're going to be able to provide services. Unfortunately, as you well know, again, the state doesn't say how you can reduce expenses. As a matter of fact, with regulations and rules and everything else, expenses continue to climb. And yet the simplistic, in our opinion, answer is from them is, well, we can't afford to pay, so we're just going to pay you less, but we expect you to pay to provide the same services. By doing that, we maintain that that is, in essence, a tax increase on private paying residents and a tax increase on the hardworking staff that don't get the proper compensation and benefits. First of all, I'd be interested in your take on that, and secondly, what do you think other legislators and leaders would say to that?
One, I don't disagree. In fact, I've used an analogy recently to try to drive a similar point home that, if there's a leak somewhere and you just plug that leak versus fix that leak, that water is going to find a different outlet. So this concept of the adult basic program recently having run out of money and they're just going to cut people off if people can't pay whatever this outrageous monthly premium is they want to charge them. Those same individuals, I guarantee you, will show up in emergency rooms. That will translate to uncompensated care, which will translate to a whole list of situations that drive up costs and do just what you say. So I'm constantly pointing out where they're saying that they're not for tax increases and they won't do it. They are all de facto tax increases. They're all hidden, and I know that I'm a Democrat and our caucus is going to carry that message strongly and consistently, that these are de facto tax increases and they're creating difficulties in other situations. That being said, I'm also very aware, as you know, about unfunded mandates, regulatory requirements that drive up costs, and have tried to introduce into all of my conversations the fact that some of these unfunded costs are very expensive, and we need to be very cognizant of that when we enact legislation or regulation. I'd also encourage our members to be as efficient as possible and to really try to look at their own business model to create diverse revenue streams wherever they can.
Thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today. As I said, you've been a friend for 20 years, and I know your passion for senior services. I know your passion for public service, so we're very happy to have you representing the people of Pennsylvania. Based on your conversations with your colleagues, what is one piece of advice maybe that you would have to offer PANPHA and our members as we move forward with the new legislative session?
Well, as we've always done, in PANPHA, urging folks to establish relationships with their legislators so that when there is a need, their relationship is established, and trying to educate that legislature as to exactly what PANPHA members do, how integral they are to seniors in Pennsylvania. We have a very, very high percentage and absolute number of older adults in the Commonwealth. We rank second and fourth in the country in those statistics. And again, to urging folks to look at their own business models to see how they may be able to diversify and put in additional revenue lines. Some of our members have done that extremely well. They've gone from a single service provider to doing a variety of things. So find a partner, look at other of the members that are out there, and try to find a niche that provides an additional revenue stream so that your particular campus remains strong.
Thank you, Representative DeLissio, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time at our next blog. Now we're down in the Capitol where we're hosting PANPHA's legislative breakfast. This is an opportunity for us to meet, first of all, many of the freshman legislators, but also some other legislators that are here and can meet with PANPHA members to talk about some of the issues that are going to be important in the upcoming General Assembly. And now are some highlights of our breakfast this morning.